Let me remind you what happened the last time I reviewed these cases. This time around though, I asked what drop tests you guys wanted to see and it got a little crazy. So let's check it out. Back at it again, this time the lineup of the infamous mouse cases with the real material backplates. There's nothing drastically new here compared to last year. They've still got their seashell by the seashore design, a classic all black leather which I really dig, wood and bamboo which is my favorite because duh, Asian, and their bad boy aramid carbon fiber option. Taking a look at my kind of people's case, although really they're all the same, but it's this green goopy AeroShock stuff on the inside that matters. And after many broken iPhones, Mous claims this AeroShock tech can withstand drops like this, going as far as being the first in line to get the new iPhone XS in Australia and then doing this with it. Yeah, and like last year, this small UK startup may just have the case to beat. That is, if you can afford it. Snapping an iPhone XS in place, it feels like a very solid case in the hand. The case has a really tight fit around the iPhone, which makes it a hassle to remove, but you'll be super thankful for when your phone gets driven over by a scooter and the screen doesn't pop out of your case. The buttons are raised, provide a very clunky response. There's nothing to complain about here like it should be. A large mute rocker cutout for any size fingertip, and a fairly recessed camera cutout to keep it safe when smacking it around. A quick note, they do use the same case for both the iPhone X and XS, as the camera cutout will fit just fine. Finally, cutouts along the bottom, you shouldn't have any issues with any size cables. Now it gets interesting on the inside though. 4 spots indicate where magnets are actually placed within the case, unnoticeable and discreet on the outside of the case, which is great so it doesn't get in the way of anything, and they're fairly strong, which is what you want when you want to throw one of these on. A car or wall mount and a wallet attachment. Made of a soft leather with a hard back structure, it's got metal plates hidden inside to latch onto and 2 card slots around the front. It's not a lot, but just enough for a night out. And voila! That's it. Simple to use, it sticks on and holds in place thanks to each magnet position on the case. Now it's not permanent and it will come off if you swing too hard, but it's also literally magical. Well, blam. Some days you may want to slim down and only carry 2 cards, and on another day you may not want that extra bulk. It's as easy as this, sliding it on and off, no glue, tape, or suction cups. When filled, it doesn't add too much bulk and stays in place just fine, and it's also just really fun to play with. My main concern was how well it handled in pockets though, because with the case alone it slides in and out of pockets like butter on toast, even with that thick lip around the top and bottom. With the wallet attached magnetically, I found it was actually strong enough to stay in place even during my scientific pocket insertion tests. If you really love the added size and functionality of the wallet, you can easily use the center strip of microsuction for a semi-permanent finish, easily removable and still reusable over and over again. Next up, the wall mount. It's got a rubber surface that prevents anything from sliding around, and a 3M backing that can attach to anything flat, or you can convert it to a car mount, but that does stay on forever, which means no more wall mounting, so choose your starter Pokemon wisely. No matter what you decide though, it works the same way. Slap on an iPhone and it sticks to the top 2 magnetic points. But what really matters is how well it does on a drive test. Through some twists, turns, road bumps, it held in place without budging. I'm even able to still interact with it without it falling off. The best part is I can remove and reattach without having to deal with any clamps or switches to squeeze. I did want to see how far I could go before it falling off, but turns out it holds in fairly well. Just try not to take your road rage out on your mounted phone. Lastly, even with all those magnets in place, magic charging works just fine. There's an added bonus this year. Within the case, there are 2 secret pockets. It's not something you'll all utilize, so it's nice that it's hidden away for the rest of us, but if you travel a lot, there's room for an extra SIM and a SIM tray opener. When loaded, it's a matter of removing your case, something you do anyways when swapping a SIM card, and then having it all ready to go. Now with all those magnets and material backplates, it does bulk up the case a bit. So what I love and have only seen mouse cases do are these lowered edges around where your fingers wrap around, while leaving the top and bottom bezels in place to keep your screen from making out with the table. They allow for my fingers to actually hold the phone properly while also not blocking my access while swiping right on Tinder. The edges themselves are still fairly smooth. I'd love to see them add a bit of texture in future cases though, especially for the larger phone models. And so many, myself included, may be put off by the higher price tag, but in Mouse's defense, these material backings are really nice. But I get it, I was skeptical too, so let's find out how real this real material is. yeah, you can see the fibers in this aramid carbon fiber sticking right out, trying to hold the whole thing together as I rip their love apart. Now, I'm no carbon fiber expert, but this, I'd say, that's the good stuff. And just for safe measure, I tore the walnut in half as well, and yeah, that's what the inside of a tree looks like. For super safe measures, it carves like one too. Point proven, you're paying for the real deal. Now let's talk about what y'all are really here for, protection. Starting with that thick top and bottom bezel on the front, it's got your screen covered for any flat drop, but very rarely are surfaces always just smooth. So it's super cha-ching worth it when you find out they actually include a screen protector with every case. A simple, flexible 3-layer film that I highly 230% recommend you install right away because it will do most of the protecting day to day. They also offer a higher end hybrid glass too. It's not necessary as the included one does the job just fine, but it's nice because it includes a super easy applicator that you plug into the lightning port and voila, alakazam, it's installed type of ease. So if you really suck at installing screen protectors, maybe consider that one as well. That's it though, 360 degrees of protection with the screen protector installed. One final test before we get the good stuff, scratch resistance. Wow, that rubbed right off like some Mr. Clean magic eraser. There's a few light marks, but only after I really dug into it. Otherwise, it'll have no issues sharing a pocket with keys. AeroShock, as Mous describes it, is designed to dampen the impact of drops while providing that extra grip to the phone. So let's see what it can actually do based on, well, your suggestions.
Football.
Ooh.
Alright, got it. Ooh. Ooh. But I'm on the roof of my garage, not something you usually do, so not something you're worried about after all those drops. So let's move on to the next iPhone. Oh, money. Kobe. Kobe. Oh. Wow.
That hit the rim.
Oh. Oh. Oh boy. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Ouch. Mayday, one phone down. Looking closely, it looks like 2 tiny rocks hit exactly where the case and screen protector don't cover the screen. You can actually see exactly where the rest of the screen protector saved it from impact though. But after some bowling, tossing it like a football over 30 feet away, and several tosses off the roof in my garage, I'd say you're probably never going to experience that level of damage. And like you've seen, even if you do, the case has you covered for the most part, unless you're super unlucky like I am. The backside is perfectly fine, camera lens intact, and the phone surprisingly still works. What's more shocking is the second iPhone XS we tested. The case itself has seen better days, and an indicator that the wood will scuff up much easier than the carbon fiber. That screen protector to the rescue. These points of impact would have been much more disastrous otherwise. But the phone turns on, 3D touch works, no issues so far. Again, thanks to that super tight fit of the case, it's a hassle to remove, but that's just a slight inconvenience when compared to the fact that the iPhone never popped out of the case on any of these drops, which basically kept the rest of the phone safe. So are these cases worth it? The results speak for themselves. If you ever wanted to roll your phone down a flight of stairs, throw it like a football, or shooting some Kobe's with it, this green AeroShock stuff can handle all of that and more without breaking a sweat. What makes it even more worth it is that magical screen protector. It saved both these iPhones several times on each of these impact points, and best of all, it's included for free. I don't think anyone can deny that these are still some of the toughest cases I've tested. Just use some common sense and don't drop it off your garage roof. Otherwise, I rest my case.